Hey everyone, welcome to Flying with Big Ern. I am your host, Ernie, and today we're going to do a Q&A. Figured answer some questions that we got on the comment section. One of the popular ones was basically my story of aviation. All right, now before I start, I do have to admit I absolutely hate talking about myself. So I am going to try to keep it a little short and sweet, but hopefully impactful that gives you a little bit of insight on kind of how I came up in the aviation community. Now to begin with, I didn't come from an aviation background as far as family members go. My dad was the only one that expressed an interest in aviation. And with that, he built a lot of model airplanes, hung it from a ceiling in my room. So I kind of grew up, you know, watching those airplanes up there. I think at 5 or 6, I cut down a model of an F-15 and I was kind of pretending I was in the cockpit flying around the house. And this is some of my earliest memories of wanting to be a pilot. Every airplane that came overhead, I was running out the front door. My parents could attest to that. And just looking up to see what kind of airplane that was. So that passion was definitely there on the early days. So when I had the opportunity to fly at 16 years of age, I got my private pilot license. I knew that's what I wanted to do for the future. Now, seeing that passion, my parents really invested a lot in me. So without a doubt, I owe my mom and dad so much in getting me going in aviation. They sacrificed a lot. Parents worked a lot of overtime to try to pay for my flying. I felt the best way for me to reward them was to work as hard as possible and earn every single dollar that they put into my training. With that, I went off to college. While getting my ratings along the way, I got up to my CFI. I think it was my last year of college. I did not go to an aviation college. I went to Arizona State University. I did major in justice studies, so nothing to do with aviation. I felt, if the aviation thing didn't work out, maybe I'd go to law school. While I was at Arizona State, I did go through Air Force ROTC, so I got a commission on active duty. Unfortunately, those times in the mid to late 90s, there wasn't a lot of pilot slots going on. I didn't get one. In hindsight, looking back, I have nothing but myself to blame because going to Arizona State in the 90s, I wasn't super focused on my studies, probably like I should have been. Just a word of caution to you guys in college right now, make sure you're hitting the books because it does impact down the road. Now, I did get a pilot slot in the Air Force Reserves. I found out about the reserves kind of in my last year of college after I signed a contract with the Air Force. So I couldn't get out of that active duty commitment, but I did pursue the reserves while I was on active duty and ended up getting a job flying C-5s on the West Coast in California. Did that for a little bit, ended up coming back to Phoenix, flying KC-135s in the Arizona Air National Guard, and I finished out my career with them back in 2018. Actually, January 1st, 2018, I was officially retired. So once I did get into the Air National Guard, it is a part-time job. So this is where your friendships that you've built up along the way come in, and networking as well. I found a job flying corporate, so I flew corporate aviation. I flew Citation 2s, 5s, and 10s. And then from that corporate job, spending a few years there, I got onto NetJets and I ended up flying a Hawker 800 and 900 over there. Unfortunately, that's where I earned my first furlough. Did get furloughed from them for a little bit of time. Again, I was with the Arizona Air National Guard, so I was able to pick up a little bit extra over there. There was always some work to be done over there, so I was picking up extra orders here and there to make ends meet. But in 2012, I was lucky enough to get hired at the airline I'm currently at, and I've been there ever since. So that's pretty much my journey in aviation. It has been, a lot of highs, a few lows, but when you hit bottom, sometimes the only way to go is up. So that is kind of my advice to you guys. It's not always going to be rosy. You're not going to have that trajectory just sends you straight up. You're going to have some setbacks and some challenges along the way. Just get up and keep fighting. That's probably the biggest advice I can give you. If you want it bad enough, you are going to find a way and you're going to make it happen. All right, just for the sake of variety, we're going to change up the scenery a little bit. Or another question that I received, actually it's been a pretty popular one as well. This one was from Island Sounds. Thanks for the question. It is, do I have to have a degree to fly for the airlines? And actually Maurice and a couple other people asked that question too. And what I can tell you is I give the same advice I give my daughter, who's currently training right now to become a pilot there at University of North Dakota, is get your degree. I understand that experience in airplanes is great, but there are airlines out there, they won't even talk to you without a 4-year degree. So to give yourself the best opportunity, cast the widest net to get a career in the aviation industry, because you have no idea which airline is going to hire you. You hope for the best, and you just plan to cast that wide net. And in doing so, having a 4-year degree is going to help you out in that chase. My advice, whether or not the airline requires it or not, is kind of, to me, a little bit irrelevant. Also, there's some value in getting that 4-year degree. The experiences that you get, in college and learning a different set of skills, if it's not in aviation, if you, like me, decided to get a degree in justice, there is value in that. There is value of seeing kind of more of a diverse background of people, so you're not kind of stovepiped in one subject area or another. But that's what I found. I found it to be good. It was a great experience going to college and getting that college degree. And now I know people's circumstances are totally different. Your circumstance may not have been like my circumstance. You may be older and you may be trying to figure out, time is valuable. What do I invest the time in? So it's gonna be different for everybody. And then also, if you have a family and you're trying to support a family, go to college and do the flying training at the same time, it's tough. I know, I get it. The advice that I would give you though is, if you have the opportunity to get that 4-year degree and it is possible to do it, I recommend doing it, because it will only help you out down the road. All right, guys, as you can see, we've moved into the gym. This is probably the quietest place right now, just because I have kids and homeschooling is going on back there, and I didn't want you to hear my kids screaming. All right, so the next question comes in from Connolly. He asked the pros and cons of flying corporate aviation. Now, my experience was with a charter company, which was Part 135, and a fractional company, which is Part 91K and 135 a little bit. So you've got fractionals and you've got charter. So with my experience, I thought the pros were definitely flying different airplanes. The equipment that they had on those airplanes were, very advanced. All the technology that comes into the cockpit is fascinating. Another pro of flying corporate was basically the amount of knowledge that you get in such a short amount of time. Now, you're going to be flying to airfields that are, not kind of on the beaten path, as they say. You're going to fly to some kind of backwoods country airports. You're going to fly to uncontrolled airports. You're going to fly to big airports too. So the diversity of flying is there, and you may hit from Los Angeles International to a small airport, say in Garden City, Kansas. The other pro on that is, I don't know about you, but getting thrown a set of keys to a private jet and saying, hey, this is your jet, we'll let you know where you got to fly to. And you stock it, you take care of it, you make sure it's cleaned, you get it ready for the passengers. It's your machine, and we'll assign you a trip. Be ready. That was pretty cool to me. I was really excited about that. I had no idea where I was going. I just knew I was going to be on for a set amount of days. Keep your airplane clean. You had, you were the cleaning crew, you were the lav guy, you were the caterer, you were the pilot, you were everything on that airplane. It just taught me so much. It taught me so much about the different jobs that go along, baggage handling, putting a ton of bags on an airplane, making sure the weight and balance was done, all that good stuff. So I think corporate was great in that aspect. Now, some of the cons about corporate aviation, depending on where you go, again, I'm using corporate as kind of a general term. There's many different facets of corporate aviation. But in my experience, the schedules were not as great, and I actually had a pretty good schedule. With NetJets, I had a 7 on, 7 off. I just can't escape the noise. So anyways, at my charter job that I had a 8 on and 6 off schedule. So the days were quite long. 7 days on the road is a long time to be on the road, and 8 days is even longer yet. But the stretch of days off was great as well. So I guess that's kind of not so much a con as more of getting used to the schedule. Now there are outfits out there where you're kind of on call all the time. I never flew for that kind of outfit, so I don't have any experience on that. I could probably guess that it's not very fun not knowing your schedule, having friends that have done that. But again, I also have a friend that flies for a large corporation here in the US, and he loves his schedule because it's fairly the same all the time as far as where they go and days that they travel. They don't travel on holidays, they don't fly on the weekends. So there are corporate operations out there that are that way with their schedule. It's kind of a good deal. So it's kind of hit and miss. You know, my experience, I take away a lot of great things from that. The only con that I could probably give, you know, just in my circumstance, was being gone for that length of time. Now, having 6 and 7 days off was great too. So I hope that helped, Connolly. I hope that answered some questions. Again, you know, I didn't have that sweet Part 91, you know, flying for a big corporation off on the weekends and, you know, super slick job. I'm pretty sure those are hard to get. Probably even harder to get nowadays for sure, but that was my experience that I had. I hope that answered your question. There, I think the lighting's better this way. All right, the last question for today is from Trevor. He just wanted to know what family life is like as a pilot. I guess I could say probably one of the cons about being a pilot, and every pilot has to deal with it, is being away from family. That is the biggest part about our career field and our career, that it's a double-edged sword. Love flying airplanes, love, you know, traveling, love doing all that stuff, but it comes at a cost where, you know, especially if you're, you know, married, you have a significant other, you have kids, you have grandkids, you know, it's tough on that aspect, being away. But there's ways to make things happen as far as creating memories in that aspect. I've had my family come out to an overnight, and we've kind of made it like a little vacation. So the kids love staying in hotels. We'll go out to a local restaurant and have dinner. And it's just what you make of it. So yeah, the negative part is being away from home. And in my situation at my airline, very, very fortunate that our schedules are that I can bid a schedule and be gone for a night, or I can not be gone at all and just do day trips. And of course, that's subject to seniority. And the longer, obviously, you've been there, the more senior you are, the more you're able to get those kind of trips. But the thing is, they are available, they are out there. And if you're not senior enough to get those trips, you make an adventure out of it. You know, the kids love that. You know, definitely your spouse loves that. Your significant others love that. You know, just to say, hey, I have an overnight in San Diego. Hotel's paid for. Let's come on down. Let's do dinner out there. Let's grab some sushi, or we'll you know, go run the bay. You know, something, whatever you guys like doing. You just make it work. So. Family life is what you make of it, much like everything else in life. But flying for a living has been an absolute dream. I'm very fortunate to be able to do that, and lucky to be at a company that has a really good schedule as well. And we can probably talk on another video about, you know, maximizing that time, you know, which includes commuting or not commuting, living in base. Maybe that goes into the decision-making process of what airline you want to fly for. There's many variables out there, and one thing that's great about the airline industry, there is an airline out there that is right for you in your circumstance and your situation. So I hope that helped. I hope that answered the question, and please keep them coming. You know, I like doing this. Especially when I'm not flying too. This gives me a little bit of chance to answer some of those questions. All right, now that we're at the end of the video, I think I found the best lighting. Hey guys, I really, really appreciate your support. We're on the verge of 1,600 subscribers. Totally blows my mind. Again, I sent that deal out where I crossed 300, and I thought that was amazing. So thank you so much for your support and your love coming my way. I really do appreciate that. If you have more questions, please send them down in the comments below. I'll try to put them on a list, and you know, we'll do some more of these, and I'll answer what's on your guys' mind. Super excited. We are 1 month away. Well, probably a little bit more than a month, but I can say next month we're going to go pick up the Green Hornet, which is the Cirrus SR-22 Tango, and we'll be flying around this great country and hopefully adding a little bit more to the vlog and getting out there and seeing you guys and seeing your operation, seeing what you guys are doing, what airplanes you guys are flying. I'm really excited to bring that part to the channel down the road. All right, guys, so be safe out there. Consider subscribing if you have not yet. Hit the notification bell. I'll let you know when the videos are coming out. And again, comment down below. Let me know what you want to see next. And we'll get it out on another video soon. So for now, stay humble, stay hungry, keep fighting, and we'll see you later.